G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of Modified. Check out this Troopy. Ryan, how are you, mate?
Good, Ronny.
This thing, it looks tough, it looks awesome. Tell us what you use it for, tell us where you just come from.
I haven't really done anything too crazy yet in terms of four-wheel driving, just a lot of beach driving, but I sort of built it to do a bit of everything, really.
There's a couple of dents in it though.
Good from far, but far from good. She's a Bitzer, so it's a 1989 HJ75. It's got like the newer grille on it and all that sort of stuff. That's off the later 78 1HDs.
Can't wait to dissect the outside, and the motor sounds different too.
So it was a 2H, ended up buying a 60 series donor vehicle and just pulled out the 2H and the gearbox in one go and just slipped in the old 12HT.
So much to go through, let's get into it.
Yeah. It's just a whole bunch of metal thrown together.
Yeah.
Glued it up, did all the bar work myself, so yeah. What I had in mind for this bar was just to sort of keep it short and yeah, just all the approach angle. The winch is a Rumba 11 XP synthetic buoy. She's been used quite a bit, overwhelmingly for other people.
I love this flare, but it's also part of your bar work, but it's not attached to the front.
So these tubes tie into that, it's welded into there. It's all gusseted, braced and whatnot. And then there's a bit of like a sandwich plate, so where the body mount is sort of wedged in between. I'd chopped the factory guards previously because of the suspension, so I could get extra up travel and all that sort of stuff. But I couldn't put just like one of the generic flares on it, which means I had a fair bit of wheel poke going on.
Yeah.
And Mr. Policeman didn't like that apparently, so I was like, bugger it. And I just ripped off the factory guard and ended up doing these tube guards for the Troopy.
Nice.
So yeah, it's definitely one of my favourite bits.
You got these plates here. Are you hiding some damage or what's the go here?
Yeah, so I put a bit of time into straightening the body and all that sort of stuff. Used to have sliders and I'm yet to actually make the new sliders for it. And I went wheeling and yeah, I ended up sort of bellying out on something and it sort of stoved in the doors a little bit. So, and I couldn't be bothered doing the full process of straightening it out 100%. So I did, and it's all sealed and so it's not going to rust and all that sort of stuff. This
episode of Modified is brought to you by the Terrain Tamer eStore. So if you're looking for OEM parts for your four-wheel drive or any accessories, check them out because they'll probably have what you need. And let's get back to this awesome Troopy. There's so much going on. I love this car. What's this paint? It's not, is it wrap or is it paint? What is it?
It's a 2K, well it's Raptor, but it's diluted with just normal 2K paint. It's real super durable stuff and it comes with like a specific gun that you use just for doing Raptor, but this is all just diluted and just ran through.
I don't actually mind these mirrors on the Troopy.
They're not quite as big as the clear views and all that. They do all that, they're towing mirrors, but so like I have never driven with them in this sort of orientation, but you know, they've copped a flogging, so. And like, as
this
you know.
Is the face of consideration.
No.
Mate, what happened here?
Blue Mountains. Literally, it was muddy as. It was just an embankment, so it was heavily rutted. It was a little bit off camber. We're just trying to get up this little bump up section. My mirror ended up going through the window, smashing the window. Oh, that was my window! I was just sort of fixated on what was going on there and didn't even realise at the time that I'd stoved all the backside. It was a lot worse. I've pushed a lot of it out. I'm still doing some pretty nasty wheeling, so I just sort of can't be bothered fixing it at the moment. Get it all out of my system and then I'll straighten it back up. Rear bar, it's another little thing that I've made from scratch. Similar thought process to the front, just like departure angle.
You made
angle
this?
At the back, so yeah.
Mate, you should open a bloody fabrication shop, mate.
Holds 3 jerrys, which is kind of unusual by rebar standards.
How big is your fuel tank then, if you got 20 on the back?
Still just got the twin 90s from factory, so 240 in total, yeah. I'm actually going to swap this one for another water, because I don't have any water tanks on the underside, but it's like, it's a pretty handy little convenient spot for the water.
Yeah, it would be. Gravity and all your eggs aren't in one basket either.
Yeah, that's redundancy, yeah, for sure. Tyres are pretty good these days. I've had my fair share of flats and punctures and all that sort of stuff, but I've always managed to get myself out of trouble with just one spare. We're going to be doing the Canning stock route, so I might throw another one on the roof or something like that.
Like a carcass or something?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
I like the way you've actually got the support onto the chassis down here. So I've seen a lot of bars, they have this wing, but it's not actually supported by anything.
That's right, that is the entire idea of it, is so I can protect that whole entire side.
Yeah. With the suspension, there's so much going on. I don't want to make this segment longer than it needs to be, so mate, take it away.
60 series rear leaf pack at the front with all of the loads removed. It's a slightly extended shackle at the front, anti-inversion. You know, I've gone to the extent of making a bar with a good approach angle, and having extended shackles at the front kind of defeats the purpose. So that's why I've retained a standard length shackle at the front, but the extra length of the spring still means that it sort of gets some pretty good flex going on. So it's got 80 series, 8-inch travel superior remote res shocks, extended shock tower. In the rear, I'm still running just a 75 leaf pack, but I don't have any loads in that either. It's quite a light truck. It only weighs 2.9. But to sort of alleviate the weight, I've just got some airbags just to sort of take that grunt too. So I just let them all the way down when I'm doing the hard wheeling, just to let the spring do its thing. And I've got the extended shackles at the rear. So
Driveline is a 60, right?
yeah, that's right. Yeah, so it's got 60 series diff housings. They're just a little bit wider than what the 70s are. You know, a lot of people say, oh, the Troopies are a bit top heavy. With the offset wheels and whatnot, it's about the same as what an 80 series is with a 60 diffs and whatnot. So.
You're running lockers?
I did have one, but I munched the front, and I ended up just finding an LSD out of a 60 series. So that's in the front, and it's constantly locked rear, auto locker rear. So the guys at Wheel Pros sorted me out with these 35-inch Milestar Patagonias. They're pretty fresh in Australia. I put them through their paces pretty good. I've done some pretty hard wheeling and like pretty much all the different terrains, and they've just nailed it. Even on the road, they're super quiet. They're good in the wet. They've been bloody epic. And the 17-inch Black Rhino beadlocks. It's a good little combination. Obviously the advantage of beadlocks, so you can run pretty low pressures on these, and you know, the sidewall comes into the contact of the ground and she rolls over some pretty harsh stuff, but like, they're still brand new looking. So
You take advantage of the beadlocks then when you're on sand?
yeah, for sure. Like just recently we did some pretty soft sand driving, and yeah, I led them down to 1 psi. I was only just registering on the gauge there. But yeah, 10 psi typically is what I end up for most of the sand driving.
What do you go on the highway?
40 psi all around. Yeah.
So fairly well weighted.
Yeah, for sure.
So every time you lower them for sand, rocks, whatever, it's always the same?
Yeah, it's always the same all around. It bags out a little bit extra in the rear, but not too much of a difference.
The donk out of a 60.
Yeah, that's it.
So this is the 12HT.
12HT, that's right. 2H was in it previously, had a turbo on it, but it was still pretty slow, especially once you wind them up a little bit too, they get quite hot. They're all right, but these are still leaps and bounds beyond what a 2H is capable of. So shares the same engine mount, so you can just disconnect a few things and slap it in, bolt it up, off you go.
It's interesting how it fits, because the 60 is kind of more square and wider.
Yeah, there's a lot of room in there in the engine bay. So like it's a snug fit, and there's still plenty of room for dual batteries and all that sort of stuff. So
I can see you got no belt on your aircon.
when I did the conversion, I just lost a couple of bits. So like I'm sort of struggling, I'll be honest. I do like my aircon. But yeah, it just makes the beers go down that little bit, better at the end of the day.
What's the go here, mate? You got 2 batteries, don't see an isolator.
For simplicity's sake, just running 2 cranks in parallel. I'm sort of always on the move. And if I'm hanging around for any more than a couple of days, I just get out all the solar and she does the job, eh?
So that's all your power, and there's no power in the back?
Nah.
This is cool. This is super simple, but it works for you.
100%, yeah. Got a G-Turbo green wheel on it, so the factory CD26. They're okay, but particularly for touring and freeway driving, they just run out of puff a little bit. This is running 24 PSI, and the fuel pump's running at its maximum volume. So like, if you're not careful, she can get pretty hot, but you just watch the EGTs.
How much fuel are you burning?
Well, I'm running 24 PSI, but I'm not running 24 PSI all the time.
That's the peak, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. If you're just cruising around, she's still pretty economical. So like I've managed to get this down to 10.7 litres per 100 is the best I've got out of it.
Get out of town.
Yeah, but if I'm doing sand driving, or forward driving and all that sort of stuff where it requires a little bit more extra right foot, sure. She can drink it, so upwards of 20 sort of thing.
Yeah.
So,
like all of the forward.
Yeah,
really.
for sure, totally.
Battery charger here, yeah?
Solar controller. That can be like a battery isolator and do it all.
Oh, you got constant solar?
So 160 permanent solar, and that's like the regulator.
Right, okay. And that just keeps these topped up as well?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, cool, man. You never lack torque with this engine?
Nah, they're pretty torquey. They're not quite what the V8s have, particularly down low, so it does rely on the turbo. Once it's on song, there's plenty of power. Just to let it breathe a little bit better, I ended up knocking this aluminium 4-inch snorkel up for it. I went aluminium just for weight saving, basically, so yeah. Which is a good thing. Makes some pretty sexy turbo noises.
Right. Hello. Enjoying the content so far? Well, hit that subscribe button down there. It goes a long way to help out. And if you want to help out even more, Well, you can check out what that join button is. That's YouTube members, which gives you a whole bunch of other things. All right, it's a bit tight here, so if you want to jump in, start rolling us through what's going on.
Can do.
You got these doors here altered. Is this something you've done as well yourself?
Yeah, that's right. Like that door usually has a whole bunch of reinforcement from where the spare tyre usually sits on, but because of the tyre carrier, there's no weight in it, so you can just gut it. Those are an absolute troopy essential, the OGS bags. Yeah, all Australian made, but yeah, they're super handy. It's all cooking utensils, salt, pepper, and all that sort of stuff. And the jet boils in this one.
One of these your tables then, or?
A little prep table there.
Yeah, right.
Stainless. Just set the table up and just, pretty much where you're standing. So it's just all cooker.
So that's basically your kitchen set up right here.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I do a bit of cooking inside too, and I literally just use this as the table. So
does that fridge come out on a slide?
Does. That's what the other little latch is, the black one. Yeah,
Okay.
74 litre, dual zone. So it actually fits perfectly on this drawer system.
I was about to ask you what this is about, but what the hell is this?
See you, Harry.
There you go, mate. That's your power unit.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so the batteries are in the front. There's a little fuse block here. And so we've just got a bunch of switches, only 2 of them used just for inside and outside lighting. But once they're turned on, I can turn them on and off and change all the colours and all that sort of stuff and dim them. There's tools and stuff down the bottom there, camp oven, and this is just all food.
All right, mate, well, I can't really fit in there for you to show everything, so take it away, man.
It's pretty unusual by pop top standards, but I've kept a forward facing seat because I got a couple of kids, so I can put the baby seats in here. So I've got to retain this, otherwise it would be completely different. But in saying that, it actually works because this chair lays flat and it just becomes like a bit of a daybed.
You got something interesting happening there with the table over there with the recess.
Got a little collapsible table, you can lock it off. Laptop, do all my stuff, all my computer work and all that.
You work on the road then?
Yeah, so photographer, videographer. So I'm just doing all this sort of stuff. Full driving, camping, touring and all that sort of
Living
business.
the dream, mate.
Apparently so. Little inverter, charge the laptop, center console fridge for when I'm thirsty, which is all the time. And all the panels have been recessed, so there's storage down both sides of the Troopy, so like you can tuck away heaps of stuff, particularly stuff that you don't need all the time. It's a bit of a downside that I don't have the volume like the front pivot pop tops, but it gives me a little section just to throw crap up there, and it really just opens everything up. So
even space through the whole thing, so I guess there's pros and cons to each style, isn't there?
yeah, definitely, yeah.
Breaker, this is LR. Is there another Troopy out there? Over.
Yeah, copy. Got SS.
What does SS stand for?
Snorkel sucker.
Snorkel sucker.
Straker sucker.
This is lowrider, that's what LR for.
Mate, what radio are you talking to me on?
Got the GME XRS.
Do you carry any other radios at all?
Yeah, I've got a little 5-watt GME handheld as well. Also a good bit of git.
Rock around on channel 27, that's the...
Official Troop Carriers of Australia UHF channel, FYI.
I didn't even know that.
That's embarrassing.
Lights wise, mate, what are you running?
So I've got a 40-inch LED bar up top, and the amber sections either side is just to sort of warm up the overall colour temperature. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the amber covers.
Copy that. What about the front lights, your spotties? Do you always run the amber covers on them?
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of the warmer colour. So yeah, little 7-inch hardcore spotties.
Up front, just the red bar up top.
Copy that. That Inductors We Find camp patch that I chucked on before, have you earned that one?
Absolutely. That's me to a TA.
Alrighty, sounds like we need to cover your whole ceiling with them.
Wouldn't be mad about it.
Copy that. Well, take away the rest of your interior with your cameraman. This is lowrider outs over.
The seats, I guess. These are BMW 318i. They're electric, fully adjustable and all the rest. We've got a Waco CDF 11 center console fridge, packed with emus, the way it should be. Prado steering wheel. We've got the XRS GME radio. 1-stone armrests because they're very primitive, the old 70 series doors, so there's nothing to really put your arm on, so good bit of kit. OGS dash bag. We got the Land Cruiser Essential Doug's tub. Some kicker 7x10 speakers in the doors. 2 10-inch kicker subs in the back. Kicker amp just behind the chair there. Got a bit of storage up top. This is off an old cruiser I had years and years and years ago. It's been through a few troopies actually, so, but yeah, good bit of kit.
Welcome back to Q&A. Rapid fire. Best part about your troopy?
The only reason I get troopies, because I've had a few of them, is for the pop top.
How many troopies have you had?
This is my 4th troopy.
This is a first pop top conversion on all the troopies you owned?
3 of them have been pop tops. This very pop top has been on 2 of the rigs.
4 troopies in. Are you happy how this troopy set up?
I'm bloody happy with how it's actually turned out. You know, I've got the forward-facing chair in the back. The fact that I've got this chair that sort of folds down, I don't know, there's just heaps of room in there, and I like that about it. So if I was to do it all again, I would probably follow the same principle, yeah.
I think part of that reason is because you don't have the whole battery set up in the back. Like, you're relying on the front batteries, and it's going well for you. It's great for people to actually realise that too. You don't need the $15,000 setup in the back. But do you reckon that's why you got all this extra space?
Yeah, that is certainly a contributor for sure. Like, I got a pop top troopy, and it's good to get out of the elements and all the rest, but I don't really spend heaps of time on there, like in there, unless it's raining or I'm on the computer. Otherwise, I'm out just doing stuff anyway. So I don't know. I don't really need all the 12-volt stuff.
What's the next mod for the troopy?
I put a bit of time and effort into the leafs, and they bloody work. You know, and I don't have to go down the whole engineering process, and that's kind of what I've been trying to avoid. If I get another car, then I'd probably go all out on this thing and just like coilovers and 4-link and all that sort of stuff, and then probably more power. I don't know, where's it end?
What's the worst part about this troopy?
The fact that it's beat to shit a little bit. Can you put bleeps over things? Like that.
Yeah, we can bleep the out of this video, easy.
Sorry.
I get it, there are battle scars, but there's also those big ones that you kind of want to get ironed out. So I know how you feel there.
Yeah, for sure.
Best trip in this particular troopy?
Probably Fraser in this one so far, yeah.
Is it that good, is it?
It is good, but I mean, you did specify this troopy, and I haven't actually done that much driving in this troopy yet. I'm going to go 50-50 between Fraser and Bill Bunya.
Oh, I feel slightly offended here. I've never been in Fraser though. Out of all your troopies, is this the best one?
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's its own thing. It's pretty unique as far as troopies go.
The awning we're standing underneath, we haven't actually touched on that. Do you want to tell us what that's about?
This is a little prototype 270 freestanding awning from Frontier Lines. It's a good bit of kit. It's got built-in LEDs and all the rest.
This is a serious question. Why do you like snorkels so much?
I don't know how to answer that question without embarrassing myself.
Yeah, that's just a good thing. Makes some pretty sexy turbo noises.
Right. DIY mods to a troopy. What do you think you've saved most money on? Like the part of the vehicle that you've done DIY to?
Oh man, like this was on car stands and fully gutted. You know, if I was to and like it doesn't look like that because it's kind of all bent and buckled, but I don't know. I've been using it, but yeah, I did like a pretty proper restoration on this. So to do that again, that's 50-60 grand sort of thing. So you know, I've done it all myself. It's a lot of time. Sure, there's materials in it, but it'd be like a fraction of that. I don't know. I never keep receipts, and I've never added it up, and I don't really want to know how much money I've spent on this thing. But you know, if I was to employ someone to do this build, it's going to cost a bloody shitload of money.
I think everyone watching this who has a modified car are going to not count up what they spent as well. I constantly ask that question. I'll never answer it because I don't know and I don't want to know. And I'm guessing that's the same for you, right?
Nah, 100%. Yeah, nope.
Cheers, man, for bringing the trivia on.
You're right, mate. No worries.
This show is sponsored by
Terrain Tamer.
eStore.
eStore.
Make sure you subscribe.
Make sure you subscribe.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.